Om Shri Lakshmi Narsimhaya Namaha, Valmiki Ramayana, Aranya Kanda, Chapter 42. Maareecha assumes the form of a golden deer. Summary. On travelling by the aircraft like chariot, Ravana and Maareecha enter Dandaka forest and arrive at the threshold of Rama's hermitage. Then, at the insistence of Ravana, Maareecha assumes the form of an amazing golden deer, and Seetha catches a sight of the deer. Chapter 42 in detail. Maareecha, though curtly said in that way, then afraid of the king of night walkers, he became self-pitying and said to Ravana, "Let's go. If he who wields a bow, arrows, and a sword, and who brandishes a weapon to only kill me happens to see me again, deem my life is verily lost without his shooting any arrow. None can really make so bold at Rama to reappear with life, isn't it? What is appearing before you is the reflected image of mine, and I am already slain by the wand of Yama, the Terminator, the moment I conceded to your demand. When you are spiteful, O boy, indeed, what can I possibly do otherwise? O night walker, thither I go. Make good betide you." So said Maareecha to Ravana. By that word of Maareecha, Devan Ravana is very much gladdened, and he spoke this sentence, highly hugging him. "These words of yours shows your obduracy, for you are abiding under the control of my dictate. And though you were a different night walker earlier, henceforth you are really the good old Maareecha. Then you promptly employ the sky-flying chariot which is yoked with ghost-faced mules and adorned with gems along with me. On deluding Vedeyi, it is apt of you to go as you please, and I will bring that Seetha of Mithila, however defiant it might be." Thus Ravana said to Maareecha. Tataka's son Maareecha said, "All right," to Ravana, and then both Ravana and Maareecha mounted the chariot as they would employ an aircraft and swiftly journeyed from the surroundings of Maareecha's hermitage. While looking at the seaport, forests, also at all the mountains and rivers, even at the cities and provinces en route, they proceeded. On reaching Dandaka forest along with Maareecha, the king of demons Ravana has then seen the hermitage of Raghava. Alighting the chariot that is decorated with golden ornaments, Ravana then spoke this sentence to Maareecha, taking his hand into his. "This one which we are seeing and which is surrounded with banana plants is the threshold of Rama's hermitage. And, O friend, the purpose for which we came here, let it be effectuated promptly." Thus Ravana hastened Maareecha, and on hearing Ravana's words, demon Maareecha then became a deer, and indeed ambled freely in the frontage of Rama's hermitage, adopting the form of a gorgeous deer, which is superbly amazing just by its appearance, whose tips of antlers are in hue of best sapphires, and whose face is whitish at some places and not so whitish at others in its look. He became a golden deer and moved thereabout. One of its cheeks in the shade of reddish lotus, while the other in the hue of bluish lotus. One of its ears is in the hue of bloomed blue lotus, while the other is in the shade of a sapphire. While the shine of its stomach is like that of the best blue diamond, Indranilamani, and with a little upraised neck, that deer has moved about there. One flank is shining whitish like maduka flowers, and the other is shining to the roseate fibrils of lotuses, while its hooves are similar to the gemstone lapis. Calves thin, and thus with very well coherent limbs, the deer moved about there, with an upraising tail that shone forth in a tinge equal to the weapon of Indra, namely rainbow, and with a complexion that is lustrous and dappled with many diverse gem-like dapples. The deer moved thereabout with a heart-stealing aura. Thus the demon Maareecha emerged like a highly splendorous and fascinating deer in a wink, highly irradiating those woodlands and thresholds of Rama's hermitage in particular, adopting such an exclusive and heart-stealing form which is amazing amazingly dappled with the colors of diverse ores, the demon ambled all over there freely with the bearing of real deer, in order that Vedi might be deluded, and he moved forward onto the pastures, and with hundreds of silvery stipples of body he became an astonishing deer with pleasant looks, and indeed moved chewing new grass blades of trees. The golden deer has gone into the boskages of banana plants and moved here and there around Karnikara trees, and then resorted to a place which is within the eyeshot of Seetha, with an odd lotus-like hind side. That a sounding deer is verily scintillating, and it milled around the surroundings in the threshold of Rama's hermitage according to its own delight. That excellent deer bears a retreat and again returns, and meanders thus time and again, and turns its tail for some time only to return once again very playfully. Again, skipping everywhere, it sits somewhere on the ground. Then, on coming to the threshold of the hermitage, it goes towards herds of deer. That demon who was gone into the deer hood has gone after some herd of deer, but he returned again, though that herd followed him, wanting to be friendly, in order that he shall remain perceptible to Seetha, and he whirligigged in amusing circles while leaping and bounding to and from the herd of deer. All the other animals are moving in that forest on seeing this demon deer with their necks up have come close to it, and on smelling it well they are turning away to all the 10 directions, noticing it as a demon turned into a deer. Even the demon in the deer's semblance, Maareecha, though indulged in killing those forest animals, and though the other animals are touching him, he is not killing and eating them indulgently, only for the reason of camouflaging his present nature of demonhood. What is more, Vedi, with her felicitous eyes, came towards trees, yearning for plucking the flowers in the same instance, and she, with her brilliant glances and delightful visage, moved there about while plucking flowers of Karnikara, Ashoka, and of mango trees. That select lady who is unmeet for forest life beheld the deer, which is completely gem-like, and whose limbs are surprisingly as though studded with pearls and gems. And she, that Seetha, goggled the golden deer with a wide-eyed astonishment, while deer has pretty lips and teeth, hair resembling silver and coppery ores, and she indeed gazed at it with an affinity for wildlife. On seeing Rama's wife Seetha, that highly phantasmal deer, too then moved there about as though to scintillate that woodland. To see such a deer, which is in liking unseen, and which is as though studded with numerous gems, the daughter of Janaka, Seetha, went into an intense wonderment. Thus, this is the 42nd chapter in Aranya Kanda Valmiki Ramayana, the first epic poem of India. Sri Moola Rama Vijayate. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.